Sorry?
Yes, we can
Yes,
start.
we can start.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, I was just going through this one. Let me go through the PPT as well. I already introduced myself, so I'll skip this one. I'll skip this as well. Let's start with this one. Okay, so we need to understand what is RPA first. So before understanding the RPA, someone from your this session, we got the details related with the what is RPA. So before going to RPA or before moving to robotics process automation, we need to understand what is process automation. Okay, so the process automation is nothing but the software which you use on daily basis in your organization. Not only you use somehow you you go through that, you the customer side they use it, maybe the Salesforce, your SAP application, mainframe application. So these are the process automation. So when we talk about the process automation, so what it does, what it contains, these are the process automation tools available in the market, or you can say it's a software available in the market. For example, the SAP, where all the sales reports or inventory report we use SAP as to get the sales report, to extract some sort of employee details, success factor like SAP success factor. Mainframe, where we get some details from a database, where I can get some sort of data, organizational data, maybe the it's a manufacturing data, maybe it's a insurance based data, maybe it's HR portal, healthcare patient register data, whatever. CRM is also one of the application, one of the process automation software, where we provide some input, we get some output. All these are the process automation tool which we use, which every organization uses. Not only this, there are a lot of, even your PDF, even your Excel file, even your notepad, even your database, all these are the process automation tools. Why I'm saying this process automation? Because when you work on it, or when you provide some input, at the end you will get an output as a report format, or maybe in the UI format. Okay, SAP, mainframe, Salesforce, there are certain gaps using it. What are the gaps? If I count the SAP, there is a human workforce I required, which has a high cost of the software. If I talk about the mainframe, there is a complex legacy system. So if I want to work on it, I need to understand the mainframe, and then only I can work on it. Salesforce, there is a huge data entry, and which leads the quality issue. So these are the process automation. Not only this, as I told you, PDF, Excel, and all these are the process automation tool. Now, what is RPA, or where the RPA works, or where RPA stand? We already know the process automation. The only one word is added before this process automation, which is called robotics. So this robotics is nothing but a robot who will work on the process automation instead of a human. Okay. Can you mute someone, please? If you are not talking, please mute. Thank you. Great. So then what is robotics process automation? RPA. We have, so robotics process automation is nothing but a RPA bot or robot. What it means? So the process automation tools or software or the applications which you have, earlier there was a person who is working on it. Now there would not be any human who will work on it. Instead of that, a robot will work on it. In short, RPA is not going to replace your process automation tool. This RPA is going to replace a human who is working on it. Okay, so that is the reason it is called robotics process automation or RPA bot or robot. So if I talk about the definition, very simple definition is, if you have a repetitive daily day-to-day task which is rule based. When I say rule based, means what? Every day I need to download a sales report from the SAP application. I need to get the cost and material cost and other reports. I'm talking about for manufacturing domain, and then provide those data to the Salesforce, and then Salesforce will tally, and then again I get the final Excel, and that Excel file I want to provide over an email. This is a everyday task which I need to perform. So this is my rule-based task. I can automate this task. Not only for this manufacturing, even insurance domain, every day there is a thousands of claim numbers which I want to process based on some business logic, based on some business rule. If it is a payout disease insurance, then there would be a different calculation. If it is accidental insurance, then there would be different rule. And I want to process that by using multiple applications. So this is again a rule-based task. So what is RPA? Or if I said what is the definition of the RPA? RPA mimics the human behavior, not human intelligence. So it mimics the human behavior means what? Day to day, whatever you have a task which are rule based, those you can automate, and that is the reason we call it as a robotics process automation. So basically RPA is nothing but a style of automation where machine or computer simulates a human's action in completing rule based task. So it may be the downloading.
I have a query here. Can you ask a query in between? Or
Yeah, go ahead. You can ask.
So I think we can do process automation using some automation tool like Selenium also. So why we are using RPA?
Okay, great question. So I'll come back on this question. Let's first understand the benefits and advantages. Sorry?
No, Shiv, I have muted. You can continue.
Okay. Okay, I'll come back to this question. First of all, we need to understand the advantages and the characteristics of RPA. Then we can go for with this question. So I'll tell you that. So this is RPA definitions, and there are types of robot as well, or types of bots. The bot which we create using the RPA tool. So there are two types of bot. One is back office robot, another one is a front office robot. So back office robot is nothing but when you automate a certain task without human interaction. So there is no human interaction is required in between that. For example, downloading the SAP success factor Excel sheet of employees and calculating payroll or whatever, and then sending back to the each employee is a back office robot, is something I can create without using human interaction. Wherein front office robot, what is exactly it is? So in between the task, if I want to connect with the human, or if in between the task I want to get the help from the human, then I can create front office robot, which is called user assisted bot or user assisted robot. What it means, if insurance claim, if I take the example, I'm processing the claim file, and there is a query which I need to ask to customer, it related with the documentation, whatever. So in between that, bot cannot call that person and then get the answer. Of course, in after 6 months or maybe after 2-3 months, it will happen. For RPA, it does not. It goes into the IPA. In that case, bot will finish the task till that period where the query is, and then someone from the assistant, someone from the operation guy, he or she will call, and then the whatever the answer, again that answer or that output gives to the bot, and then bot performs from then. So in between the task, there is a human interaction. So that is the reason it is called front office robot. And using the RPA or using the robotic process automation tool, we can create both this robot. Okay. Now you need to understand what is bot basically. When we say I'm creating bot or I will create a RPA bot using RPA tool, then what exactly the bot means? The bot means your process, use case, a project which you want to develop in any RPA tool, UiPath, Blue Prism, Automation Anywhere, OpenSpan, Pega. For example, as I told you, log into a particular email, downloading that attachment, getting those data and doing something on that data is a one process, is a one use case that I need to create. Once I create, then I'll run the process into the executor or into the bot machine or a machine where I just need to run my process, which is called bot machine. It is always a virtual machine which is responsible to run your processes which you have created using the tool. Now, when my process plus bot machine is getting executed or my process is running on one machine, then I can say my bot is running or my bot is working. So that is the nothing but your robots, RPA, robot or bot. Process plus your bot machine. You cannot say the process which you have created, you cannot say this is a I have created bot. You have created a rule-based task which needs to be executed, and that will happen only when you run this on a bot machine. So this is a definition of RPA bot. Now, why the company or everyone is moving to RPA or the organization is trying to get all the projects related with RPA? Because of some reasons, certain characteristics, certain advantages. So basically, when we talk about the characteristics of RPA, it works on the presentation layer, means we need a UI, mainframe UI, SAP UI. Of course, without UI, it runs connecting to the database, MongoDB, SQL, Oracle, connecting to the API keys using API key, web API. No coding is required for automation. That is a debatable question. I'll tell you this part as well. You can create non-intrusive automation and you can create automation app which will be reusable. So that is the reason this RPA is getting demanding in this organization. So this is the characteristics. Now, if I talk about the benefits, there are a lot of benefits. Some of them I have highlighted here. So low manpower cost. Why this low manpower cost? I'll tell you that as well. Get work done instantly, of course. Eliminates the error. No human involvement is there, so there would not be any errors. Improve the productivity because it is much faster than human. Scale up and down, be future proof, digital ready, and all these are the benefits of RPA. Most important, your bot does not eat, sleep, it does not make any mistake, and it works 24/7 without providing any infrastructure. When I say infrastructure, without providing the canteen facility, without providing the sitting arrangement, we just need one bot machine or one machine where it will execute the processes. And that is the reason if in my KPO, in my insurance domain or in the insurance KPO, there are thousands of employees who are attending the calls or who are doing the operation activity related with this insurance, and every type of insurance or every type of claim is something has a specific business rule. Then why should I hire a 1,000 employee which can do the same thing, where I can have a one bot which will work 24/7. If I hire 1,000 employee, their productivity would be the 6 hours in a day. 9 hours shift, 6 hours would be the productivity. But by using one bot, I can have a productivity 24 hours, which is 4 times greater than a human. Let's talk about the matrix. It is just in general metric. Average processing time for one record, maybe your claim processing maybe your employee detail processing in SAP success factor or getting data from mainframe. On an average, it is taking 3 minutes if I go manually or if someone is doing. And if I go with the bot or if I go with the RPA, it would be 15 seconds. 90% of reduction in the average processing time. Waiting time would not be there because it does not depends on the human. So waiting time would be the zero. Of course, the quality goes beyond 100%. When I say beyond 100%, it will provide you those errors, those scenarios which a human cannot handle or human cannot think. So how RPA impacted in real world in the sense how the Indian service-based company got impacted by using or by having the RPA. So earlier the process done manually, there were 3 applications and 3 people were doing it. If person is a mainframe, so he or she will only do mainframe related activity. If one person is SAP, so he will only do the SAP. Right now I know I don't need those things because all these 3 applications, not only these 3, any type of application, my software bot will work. So I don't need a 3 different people. Instead of that, I need one bot. Because of this, you might heard and you might reading as well in newspaper, in magazine, there is a talk of the town, there is a layoff the job, Cognizant layoff, Infosys layoff. This company has reduced this not because of this COVID. Before COVID, there was a situation. And this is a research. You can Google it. This is not my word. You will get it. So research is saying, Gartner is saying, automation will trim 1.4 million global service jobs by 2021. That is fact. HFS research says low skill job, 6.4 lakh low skill jobs will not be there by 2021, which is fact. You can Google it, you will get this thing. So when we talk about the low skill, what is mean by low skill? Low skill means the job a person is doing day-to-day task, manual testing, supporting your claim representative, claim insurance operation guy, your BPO guy, your KPO guy who is doing daily tasks, your HR assistant, your HR who is doing the background activity. We don't need that because everything is now carried out by a bot. So that is, it is called low skill. And there are other things as well. I'll not go in detail. These are the high risk, these are the role, these are the industry where RPA impacted huge, and it is already been started since 2 years. As I told you, I'm working for insurance domain where there was a one use case where 1,000 people were working. Now it reduced to 300. 1,700 people has been moved to the different project, different process. Why? Because of this reason. I'm not saying out of 10 tester, 10 software professional, 10 HR will get replaced, but definitely out of 10, 8 people will get replaced by bot. That is fact. So these are the industry, these are the roles which got impacted because of the RPA. And that is the reason. This is a one-side story. This is a one-side story related with the impact. But at the same time, if something is going down, there would be something will rise up. So we need to reskill and upskill. Right now, there is a huge market for RPA, machine learning, AI, IoT, blockchain, cyber intelligence, 3D printing. If you want to survive in IT industry, if you want to make your career growth in IT industry, definitely every time you need to reskill and upskill. You cannot stick to one industry. Of course, after 2, 3, 4 years down the line, the RPA would not be there. Maybe the next RPA, cognitive RPA, AI, ML will be there. At the same time, you have to reskill and upskill. And that is the reason if my job is getting, low skill job is getting decrease, at the same time RPA jobs will get increase. I cannot create a bot without a human. Ultimately, I need a human. So why RPA? I'll tell you this part later on. Let's go with this one. So what are the opportunities on RPA? As I have told you, there are all the organizations which are using this RPA. Of course, they need RPA developer, they need RPA tester, they need RPA manager, RPA BA, RPA support, RPA lead, and that is the reason. Again, this is a research. RPA market will reach $8.7 billion by 2024. This is again a CAGR of this is a research. RPA is the next big thing in BPO, ITO, in any industry, service-based especially. These all are again the opportunities in RPA, which you will get it. Now, what are the use cases or where I can apply the RPA? Why and where I can apply? You can apply anywhere RPA where there is a repetitive daily day-to-day task. In insurance, as I told you, claim processing, application processing, underwriting processing. In BFS, request for overdraft protection, statement reconciliation, credit card application. You won't believe, but S Bank, which I have worked with them, we have deployed 200 bots. So S Bank has their their IT support and IT infrastructure is based in the Bangalore location. So there we have created 200 plus robots, which they do generally. They does the all the BFS related services. Even in the Citibank, we deployed bots. In healthcare, HR, and others, there are a lot of use cases you will find. Okay, now what are the tools? What are the tool which provides the RPA facility, or what are the vendors?
Hello, Shiv.
UiPath, WorkFusion, OpenSpan, these all are vendors, or these are the tools available in the market where you can use it, you can learn it, and you can deploy it in your organization.
Hello, Shiv. One more question. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Shiv, this is Sachin here.
Yeah, hi, Sachin.
Hi. One question from my side. Did you get a chance, or do you find any advantages of RPA in telecom domain as well? Because lots of domain you have mentioned, but I'm not able to find telecom related use cases or business cases.
Okay, great question, Sachin. Yes, as I have provided the hot domain, you can say, but yes, definitely Tech Mahindra, which is the one company wherein they have a lot of telecom clients from US, not only from US, from other countries as well. Yes, we have deployed RPA for telecom industry as well, where it checks the bandwidth upgrade and downgrade to get the billing cycle and everything. So yes, in telecom domain also there is a RPA. They have started using it because in telecom domain they mostly use PDF files, other documented data. So they use Kofax, they use your Pega, they use OCR, they use UiPath. But yes, there are a lot of use cases in telecom as well.
Okay, because since the data generally, not always, but in most of the cases, since you spoke related to billing, the data, I mean the raw data, for example, CDR file, call detail records file, is binary data. So is our bot is smart enough to read that data?
Yes. So basically the data is not the limitation or is not the limit for the RPA. It just works on the logical presentation layer. So whatever is their data, of course it processes. So we have more than millions of claim insurance claim numbers where we processed. So that is not an issue for the RPA.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Shiv.
Okay, great. Okay, so I was talking about this RPA tools. These are the tools available in the market. So top is Blue Prism, then UiPath, someone says UiPath, then Blue Prism, but rather I would say I would love to work, and I love Blue Prism and then UiPath and then Automation Anywhere. These are the three tool leading in the market, and of course after that the Pega is there. Microsoft recently launched their own automation tool, so that is also in the race. Maybe after a year or maybe 6 months down the line it will get popular. And this is an industry-wise distribution again. So core capability related with RPA, we have Blue Prism, UiPath, Work Fusion, Automation Anywhere. There are also some BPM tool, which is, as I told you, Pega, BPM. Some front office bot. Some tools are there which only use for front office, like NICE. So variant, these are the tools available in the market. Now, let's start. How to start the RPA basically. How to start in the sense, how to learn it. So when you want to learn, you have to first go through one tool. You have to choose the one tool, and in that tool, you have to understand all in and outs. In that, you have to learn practically, wherein you have to go with the small use cases first, then complex, then advisory. Remember, RPA tool or learning the RPA is not the theoretical, is something needs to be practical. There is a limited set of things or content in RPA which needs to learn not only theoretically but also practically. Then only you will understand. And who can learn the RPA? Anyone who have the capability to understand the domain or business processes and understanding of flow diagram. Flow diagram means how the flow chart works. So who can learn? I mean, who wants to learn? So anyone who wants to improve their chance to getting the white collar job, or a test automation, especially test automation engineer who has just doing manual testing and everything, that I can do through my bot as well. I can write script as well, test script, or out of 10 manual tester, I will have 2 only, and 8 I will create a bot for that. Business leader who want to automate their operations. These all are things who can learn the RPA. So this is about the RPA and what exactly and how it works the RPA. Now the question which I got it, that why we can't use the Selenium if we have the Selenium. Let me tell you one thing. Your RPA tool is used to automate the application, automate the processes, which works on the presentation layer. Okay. The RPA aim is to not test your application, whether it is working on Chrome, whether it's working on Firefox, or whether it's working on this window and that window. No. Your Selenium does that. Your Selenium is used to test your application. Once your application or that software goes into the production, the Selenium part will not be there. It will till that pre-production, or maybe the hypercare, whatever you call. But when it goes to the production, it will not. Selenium is used to automate in order to achieve the testing phase of the application, wherein RPA is not that. RPA works on live data. RPA does not aim you need to test your application. RPA is something, it gives the benefits to business. It gives you the advantages to the business, saying this I can do very fast instead of a human. So it works on the production side. This is one. Second thing, even though if you ignore this part, even if you want to use a Selenium, Selenium is used to do the automation for Windows, that there would be a different tool for Selenium. For web, there is a different tool. And if you want to go for mainframe, there is a different. And if there is a Citrix-based application, you cannot automate or you cannot write script using Selenium. And for web, for mainframe, for Windows, there would be 3 different tools. Here in RPA, there would be only one tool for web, for window, for your mainframe, for your SAP, for your Citrix base, for your database scripting, web API, everything is one place. You don't need to have multiple things. And the most important part, Selenium uses Java coding. You need to have the Java knowledge. I'm not saying a vast knowledge, but a basic, at least basic where you can write. Here you don't need any language. Everything they have created using the language, you need to drag and drop in RPA. And that is a debatable question which I told, that whether I need a coding knowledge if I want to work on RPA. Yes, company is, not all the company, but some companies, they want a RPA candidate who can understand some sort of coding background, or who can have the coding background. What is the aim behind this? Without coding, you can create RPA bots, and that is the main aim. Why? If I want to write a code to do some automation, why should I get the RPA tool as a license? Then I will hire a developers who can create the things, giving to the salary to the developers who knows the coding, and also I have a RPA tool. Why should, as an organization, as a company, why should I invest that much money? It is not at all fact that coding is required, but some companies, especially in India, service, they want a coder. Why? Because the RPA project, if some RPA projects get old, then what would be the next? That is one thing. Second thing, I'm not saying that totally 100% is does not require a coding, but out of 10 projects in RPA, you don't require coding at all for 9 of the project, 90%. Maybe one project or maybe a couple of projects where there is a complexity where you need to write some sort of code, or the tool not gives that much benefit or that much productivity or that much ability to get that done within a time or within that phase, then you might need to write the code. But it doesn't mean that all the company is required the coding. It totally depends on the service-based company. It totally depends on the projects, and it totally depends on the client as well. And top of this, even the companies asking you the coding, they does not ask you to have the coding knowledge wherein you need to create a software. They need one .NET basic on some basics of the coding which you need to have. If tomorrow you want to write some code using the tool, then you should do that. And basic .NET coding or basic Java coding or basic C++ coding is not a big deal for an IT professional. As of my point, maybe I'm wrong, but yes, if you want to survive, if you want to get it, some basic knowledge is also required. Here, what I have shown you is my Blue Prism application or Blue Prism process. It is a Blue Prism. Here I have created one particular, you can say, flow chart. And if I run this, I'll quickly show you. I'll run this, then you will understand how the RPA and what exactly the Blue Prism bot does. So this is, you can say, bot. Let me run this. So it launches one application. It logs into that application. Okay. There is a home screen wherein the order number is there. It clicked on that order number. You can see it is a ERP based system. It adds those in data, and at the end I get the reference number of that particular order. So within 15 to 20 seconds, it is added one record where it launched, login and everything, and we got the reference number as well. This is how fast your RPA bot. It is just simple example where I just instructed to the bot. This is my process, or I have given the instruction to the bot. What? The instructions. Just launch, login, do order menu, provide the choice, click the new order, and all these things. And you have to create the same thing in RPA tool, and you will become an RPA developer. Here, not single code I have written to do the same thing. Everything is I have drag and drop from this toolbar. And that is the beauty and that is the main aim of RPA. You just need to drag and drop like this. Similarly, if I go, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Shiv, this is Sachin here again.
Yes, Sachin.
Sorry to interrupt. One question, like as you mentioned, Java related, web related, mainframe related, all these applications we can interface with using RPA. So my simple question is, can our robot read the mail? Because why this question click in my mind? Because for example, where the all human interventions are required, when the customer is placing the order and a mail getting generated with the details. Okay, can my robot read that mail and place the order in the system for me?
Of course, definitely. Even reading an email, you don't need to be have a front office bot. That would be also a background. So in any tool, not only in Blue Prism and UiPath, there is activity or there are commands available where your bot reads the email, download attachment if there is an attachment, even send an email, reply to an email, everything can be done.
Okay, because generally the email body, let us consider, is the HTML body, right? So the question was that way, like, can I read that mail? For example, in this specific format is provided to customer to capture the detail in the mail, then I think we can read that format, right?
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
So when it comes
Okay.
for reading an email or reading an body, of course, the body should be in the specified or fixed format where bot can understand or bot can have the fixed format where bot can apply the logic. Yes, there should be a rule-based task, as I told you. There should be a rule having this format, having this template, and reading and writing, you can have the choice. Even if you don't have the body format, still bot can extract the details from that particular body by using the functions or by using all the tools are available in the to all the commands are available in your tool. So you can, okay. So similarly, I do have the UiPath. UiPath is also one tool where this is a way, this is a structured and you can run, you can create. Now the question is, which tools are open source? No tools, RPA tool are open source when it comes for using the for organization level. Every RPA tool is licensed, but if you want to learn or if you want to get trained on a tool, UiPath gives you the lifetime free community edition to use it, to learn it, to understand it, and to create a small robot, not in your organization, but in terms in your personal or maybe in your organization for 1 month. So there is a freeware license available lifetime for a personal use and 3 months for organizational use for UiPath. Blue Prism also last year has launched the free software or free trial version, which is valid for 3 months. That is also available over the Blue Prism website, which you can download, you can use it. 3 months of, after that you can't use it. This is one. Automation Anywhere also has the same concept. It has a lifetime community edition, you can download, you can use. And if you want to go for organization, 1 month of organizational license is free of cost. Then after 1 month you need to pay. For learning, Automation Anywhere, UiPath are free of, you can have lifetime. Blue Prism is not. Blue Prism is for only 3 months. The license cost, if I want to buy for organization for one bot, the highest license cost is for UiPath. UiPath is most UiPath is most costly along all the RPA tool. then it is Automation Anywhere, and then very cheap and very not cheap, I would say very in budget, we can say Blue Prism has a low license cost in terms of when it goes for an organization. So I'll tell you the figure. We have got 10 bot license for UiPath for a year, which cost $65K per year, $65,000 per year for 10 bot, where I can have multiple studio, means 15-20 developers can work, more than that even, but at the same time I can have a 10 bot. 10 bot means 10 robots at a time, or 10 process or 10 use cases I can run at the same time. So that is the cost of RPA UiPath. And if I go with the Blue Prism with the same amount of bot, it would not go beyond $30K. Beyond 30K, not go, that is the maximum. And it goes Automation Anywhere, it goes to 40 to 45, depending upon your company, depending upon your negotiation power, and depending upon the business. Of course there would be chances to getting the price down and everything, but this is the figure which I told. Now how to learn, or which one I can go for it? As I told you, UiPath and Blue Prism are top in the market than Automation Anywhere. I would rather suggest, if you don't know anything about the RPA, don't go with the Automation Anywhere.
Shiv, I'm sorry to interrupt you between, but there are few people in the forum. I cannot see their name, like Galaxy on NXT is there. There is a Galaxy S95. There is a 0QD 43B2B 4BF. So guys, please change your name and put your correct name. And there is a Oppo A57. And so I can just find out who has joined. Or you can ping in the chat that your name. Thank you, Shiv.
Okay, great. So I was talking about, if it comes for choosing the row RPA bot or learning the RPA, don't go with the Automation Anywhere if you don't know anything about the RPA. Go with the UiPath, go with the Blue Prism, both are the same tool. When you go for a UiPath, you should have the basic .NET knowledge. Why? Because all the functions which uses by the functions, it is not a coding, okay, it's a function which is already written a code, you need to use that function. So those functions came from the .NET in this UiPath. So if you want to learn the UiPath, you have to go with the basic. When I say basic, you just need to understand what is data item, what is .string function, what is .toTrim function, what is in string function, how to use it, and all these things. And that is a part of our training as well. When we go for a UiPath, we start from the basic, which is .NET. Blue Prism, there is no such functions inbuilt via .NET. They have created their own function, but if you want, you can create your function as well if you know the language. Having the language background or knowing the knowledge, language coding skill, any language is an added advantage when it comes for RPA. It doesn't mean that if you don't know, you cannot learn or you cannot get the job. I do have in my team, I'm the TL, in my team, out of we have a 15 people, and 6 plus is vendor, I mean the client, vendor, where we got higher. So in my 15 team, 7 people knows the language, all other don't know anything about the languages. So understand that even if the company is asking, so there is a broader picture, there is a future planning and everything. And as I told you, there might be a client and everything, process, project, client, that varies. So that is from my end. Any question, guys? I know I have spoken a lot of time.
Which is the better tool, UiPath or Blue Prism?
Which one is a
better tool? Which is the best tool?
Okay. See, we cannot in IT industry. So basically, you are saying which language is better, whether it's a Java or whether it's C#. It's not like that. Everything, as I told you, it depends on the client budget. If client want to automate, and they have a budget, so they go for UiPath. If they don't have the budget, they will go for a Blue Prism. There are certain, of course, limitations for Blue Prism and for UiPath. For Blue Prism, if I talk about the OCR concept, OCR is not powerful. So if I have the process which contains a lot of PDF files which we need to work on the OCR, probably that would not be a good choice for the organization. So it totally depends on the business case. Which one is correct or which one is fine. Every tool is good at their own place. Because we are in IT industry, when we are in the service-based industry, as a developer, as a RPA developer, we need to have multiple tool in our CV. That would be an added advantage. So you cannot say if you know the Blue Prism, you cannot say that I don't know the UiPath. You can say I can learn, or I can, probably you can learn the next thing, because RPA projects is not more than a year, or may not be a 6 month or 9 month. So every 6 month, 9 month, the client will get changed, and you have to get the new technology. New technology means tool. And that is the reason how I got to work on these three different tools: Automation Anywhere, Blue Prism, and UiPath. So you cannot compare, even though if you want to compare, it totally depends on the business case. But as a RPA developer, as an individual, as I told you, if you don't want to go with the basic .NET, then go with the Blue Prism. If you want to go with the basic .NET plus UiPath, then go with the UiPath. Both are the tool leading in the market. Both have the openings, opportunity and all. If there are 10 RPA openings or vacancies, out of 10, 4 will be for UiPath, 3 will be for Blue Prism, and rest of the other tool. One for OpenSpan, maybe the Pega, like this. So when you learn UiPath, automatically you can learn the Blue Prism next 2-3 months later. Or if you learn the Blue Prism, automatically you can learn the UiPath, because the syntax or the aim is the same. Only the terminologies are different when you go for a different tool.
So now you will cover only Blue Prism in the course.
No, we cover both the tool, Blue Prism and UiPath, not Automation Anywhere.
Okay.
Hi Shiva, Rashmi here. I want to know, through RPA we can run the query, DB query, and fetch the data. If yes, then how? Can you explain a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. You can fetch. You can. So basically, if I want to convert that RPA use case, sorry, your use case into RPA, I need to understand the application. So if you have any scripting, or maybe you are connecting to a particular application through mainframe or through a database, that I can use it. If you are not connecting, if you have a web API to extract it, I can use it. Or if you don't have anything, you just have the application which is web based or maybe Windows based. Bot will go there, bot will log in, bot will click on that, bot will get the detail, bot will store it, bot create the Excel or CSV, whatever you want, and you will get it.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so there are a lot of ways to extract it. I mean, the simple way is using the UI, going into that UI and extracting that.
Suppose we need to automate some process for some companies. So it means we need to install, like we are using any tool, Blue Prism or UiPath. We need to install that tool there, I think.
For POC purpose or for any project purpose, you need to install the tool, of course, not on the client side, but where you want to create the app. I mean, for example, I have installed Blue Prism here or UiPath. Now I want to automate this Centrix data application, which is there in this system. Definitely, if I want to automate here, I need to install the software here. If you are saying my machine is this development machine, the client machine is different on different server. So I cannot communicate without installing. So I need to install the client side as well.
Communication should be there.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, right. So it means if there is some desktop application, a window application installed at the computer, you need to install the software at that computer.
You need to install means the when you actually go for as a RPA developer, you don't need to install it. There is a RPA infrastructure team.
Okay.
Or before that, the vendor comes into the picture. If your organization decided that, okay, I want to go with the UiPath, so UiPath team will come there. They understand your use cases. They provide the consultation and set up as infrastructure. And that infrastructure you need to use as a developer. So there would be a different user roles. As a developer, you will have the development role. As a tester, you will have the tester role. As a manager, you will have everything. As a support controller team, you will have that much right. So that would be a server, there would be a server, there would be everything. So that is an infrastructure which will get place when you go for a RPA project. So you don't need to install as a client side or as a infrastructure team or as a the experienced RPA team will involve in that when it start.
One more question is, what is the like if there's a RPA developer and RPA tester, so what is the role difference between roles and responsibility of the RPA tester and the RPA developer?
Okay, it's as a name, it is pretty much simple as you do in the development in software and development in testing in software. So basically, development means you have to create the bot, you have to understand the process in the use case. You have to create a use case like launching and what would be the scenarios. You need to understand. You need to think in this way. So you will get a blueprint which is called PDD or process design document. Wherein you will have all the details how you want to build your bot, what needs to be done. So that is how you create it. Against the blueprint, you create a bot, a process. That is the RPA development work. Once it developed, once it done, you need to test it. So as a developer, you will test it, but as a tester, what they do, they test your bot in the control room. So basically, this is a control room, a centralized bot room. They run the bot by providing different scenario, by doing the regression testing, by providing negative data, by providing positive scenario, negative scenario, and they test your bot. So they try to break your bot, and at the same time you have to avoid that kind of scenario where the bot get breaks. So that is how the tester is responsible to do the testing of your robot. Also, they do the white box testing as well, where the data is getting updated or not, whether the email has been sent correctly or not, whether the format is correct or not. All this testing has been done by a tester. But as a tester, the tester should understand how the bot is working, how the process I need to drag and drop, how the process runs, how I can see the log, how to check the issue scenario. So as a tester, you should have the knowledge on the tool as well. You got the answer?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Any question, guys?
Yeah, this is Neelam. Actually, what I have understood so far is this is like a machine which will handle another machine, a process which will process another process, right, or application. And for that, we are supposed to provide particular input in particular format, and that's what this is all about. And rest will be handled by like underlying tool.
You are quite correct, but not fully. So first of all, yes, machine or process, we automate the process which are there in business, downloading, doing something and all, using a tool. Of course, we are doing. Yeah, it is required. Yeah, it is required a fixed format. When I say fixed format or when I say a rule-based format, it doesn't mean that everything should be in the format. So if I'm using a particular sales data, sales sheet, so the sales sheet has certain columns or headers that should not going to change, right? In the template or in the Excel file, or if I want to send in PDF, or if I want to read the PDF file, the PDF format should be the same for all the PDFs. So that is the reason RPA works on structured data. It will not work on unstructured data. For unstructured data, we have data science and machine learning and all.
And we just have to learn how to like draw these algorithms or how to do operate this a tool. Rest things will be taken care by this tool itself, right? Like I just do whatever I have designed one flow or designed some steps to do these steps, so things will be done by tool automatically. We really don't need any other configuration or any other tool in between, right?
Yes, exactly. You don't need to do anything.
Okay.
Whatever you have the use case or the project you want to do as a person, if they are doing manually something, you have to just automate using the tools where you create an algorithm and the tool itself runs and everything will take care of the tool. Of course, you need to provide the inputs. Means,
Okay. And one more question here. So like there are so many applications, there are so many products. So I can go right away and start using this for any product, or right now there is a limited support for limited application or products.
there is no limitation of RPA. So you can automate Linux-based system, mainframe, web, window, MongoDB, any SQL script, any Oracle database, any web API, any SOAP-based services,
Okay.
anything you can automate.
Okay.
Any type of file, Excel, PDF, CSV, text.
So,
Yes, guys, any question?
yeah, any more question? Rohit, Akshay, Anshul, Bharat, Murli, Neelam, Piyush, Preeti, Rashmi, Rishi, Sai, Sachin, Sanjay, Saraswati, Shirisa, Shubham, Simran, SN Shetty, Sudeshna, Sudhir, Sunita, and
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, I have one question. Suppose I want to do an API testing through SOAP. So there would be some process in the tool itself where it will be connecting itself with the SOAP UI and likewise, and it will perform the API testing, or what? How it's gonna do?
As I told you, right? So my RPA aim is not to test. Even if you want to test, the pretty simple as you used Postman or any other testing, web API tool, which where you have tested, same response you will get through RPA as well. So you just need to provide the web API key with the body, with the header, all the prerequisites which needs to be called, and at the end it gives you the output. And if the output is the written output is something you want to apply on the business logic, whether it's correct or not, or something that you can apply over and above.
Okay. One more thing. It might be a stupid one, but you said about this RPA developer and the RPA tester. Right now, I'm a tester. So if I take this course and I learn RPA, so is it up to me to decide when I don't have much background of the development, and you said we don't need that much of development skills, just the basic. So can I choose to be as a RPA developer, or since my old background is tester, so I have to choose it as a RPA tester, or would it be easy for me to choose as a RPA developer?
Okay, good question.
How
So
should I class?
yeah, good question. So first of all, your previous background or your previous experience does not stop you to become an RPA developer. That is one thing. So no one, of course, that would get counted, but no one will ask you if you are a tester why you are switching. So it's totally depends on you that whether you want to go with the RPA development or RPA tester based on your compatibility, based on your ability to do the task, to create a tool, to create a processes in the tool so that you can achieve the business SLA and everything. So it totally depends on you when you learn it. When you learn it, you will get to know, okay, I can develop. And trust me, development in RPA is not at all a rocket science, as not at all something that, which needs an additional Einstein's brain or something. No, you just need to learn. After learning how much you are applying yourself, how much you are extending yourself, how much you exploring yourself, that is a one part. Then you can decide whether I can go with the testing and development. But yes, when we conduct the training and when we go with the batches, 95% people goes to the development side.
Okay, Shiv, Anshul, let me share my experience. I cannot tell you my LinkedIn profile or where I'm working, but I'm working as a RPA QA manager, right? Rather RP QA manager plus project manager in RPA my project. So currently, previously I worked for a Blueprint, then in Automation Anywhere, and right now I'm working. Like Shiv was telling, one new software is there by Microsoft. That's a Power Automate. That is a new RPA tool, which after down the line, 3 months or 4 months, you guys will listen about that tool. So right now it is in a prototype stage, and we are creating, or we are working for the or automating the process, which will showcase by the Microsoft in upcoming days, right? Here I have a team of 6 QA professionals who are working into a RPA, right? So our task is to write manual test script and validate that when the RPA process is going on or the bot is running. So whether it is running attended mode or unattended mode, how it is dealing with the handled exception, unhandled exceptions, right? Handled means which is a business related, unhandled that is a technical exception, right? So we are dealing with those kind of things. So RPA, it's a similar like a testing. If you want to make your career as a tester, or if you want to make your career as a developer. Apart from that, in my team there is a one business analyst, that's a PO. He is from a RPA background who prepares the SDD or PDD, the document which is a requirement document. So here in RPA world, the FRD, SRS, we call it as a SDD or PDD. Right? So same roles and responsibilities, just switch over into RPA world. That's it.
So I have a question here.
Mhm.
If someone is an experienced professional and been in technology and say been in software testing role as a QA manager, and that person comes and does this course on RPA and learns, like you said, completely hands-on and fully knows this tool. So how that person can approach a job, because it might not be that in my organization, I am getting that kind of a role. I am the person. So then how do I, approach other places? Because as we see right now, like there is a dearth of job for experienced professional. Everywhere they're looking for freshers. And obviously an experienced person will not want to start as a fresher in RPA.
Okay, so Sudeshna, what is your total years of experience?
Mine is about 14 years.
Okay,
and I'm a QA manager.
Okay, and when you have started your career, so on the same technology you are working?
No, I have worked in different technology. I have adapted to a lot of new testing tools and automation.
Right, right. And when
but
you
my
have
interest in RPA has arisen because everywhere I see that this is being widely adopted.
Yeah. So I'm coming on your query. So when you switch your job, right?
Yeah.
So let's suppose you, I mean, in 14 years you have switched at least 2 or 3 companies on an average. I'm considering, right? So whenever you have switched your job, so you got a new tool, something, or sometimes it happens that you have not worked on the tool, but you have projected yourself and learned either from any source, or you have updated your resume and tried for the job, right?
Right.
Similar pattern is here. I mean, I am not doing any false promise, but yes, in RPA, how we conduct the workshop, and let me share my screen as well. So you can see on my screen, there is a RPA jobs. These are the forums where this group is only for RPA people. Like on Wednesday, I have shared 14 RPA jobs, right? Here, if I will explore, so people, I mean, this is RPA solution architect. There is a RPA developer. There is a RPA consultant, right? And there is a, again, you will find multiple things are here, right? So what happens that in our workshop, we make sure that you have at least 1 year to 2 years of experience, right, in your resume, and you can go and explore the things. Like on 31st, I have shared 16 jobs related to RPA, right? So these, where we share the jobs, so we just make sure that your resume is reflecting as RPA. That will help to the people to update their resume and prepare themselves for interview as well, right? So definitely there is a one, I mean, at your experience level, because I am also having a same 14 years of experience. So at this stage, there is a little bit of scarcity that what will happen to my previous experience, right? How I will going to manage the things. So these things comes very easily, right? But the thing is, if you will see in RPA also, if we can mold our resume and prepare for that. Many times in our RPA batches, I have seen people doesn't have any background idea about RPA, but they have changed into RPA because they have done the practices, they have done resume changes, they have prepared for interview like Shiv has guided to them. So by doing those things, now they are into established career into RPA.
So are you saying that, like it is better to just do the RPA maybe and then maybe have some experience in it, like do projects and things like that, and then probably, you can expect some job which is at least at your level. Uh, because see, I have been in touch with UiPath. What I have seen is that they like though they train a lot of people because they have this community edition and the platform is completely free again, so they don't even charge anything. So what happens is that they usually it depends on whatever role is available there. I mean, if they have very entry level roles, they would probably take anybody who knows the tool, but adequate weightage of that person's experience and everything is not given at that point in time.
Okay, so let me tell you, at RPA there is a managerial position also, right? Correct.
Okay.
There you can apply for a managerial position as well, right? And it is not necessary at your experience level. You can go and work as a RPA developer. Like, let me again share my screen with you. See, at 7 to 9 years of experience, Hyderabad, Bangalore, and notice period obviously because of COVID-19, people are looking at early joiner. So it is UiPath and Blueprint, and this is for where I have RPA testing, right? Correct. So people look for that thing also, right? And I got so many mails which are related with the managerial position in RPA, right? So, but for a managerial position, you must aware about the tools because they cannot hire on the basis of experience only. You have to some knowledge about tool like Blueprint, UiPath, or anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyone else having any question? Again, I am saying there is a 3-4 guys in the forum. I cannot see their name. There is a 4-3B, 2B, 4 something. There is a Oppo A57. I don't know why they have not changed their name. There is a Galaxy on NXT. Yeah. Any more question?
So Shiv, yeah. So Shiv, Murli here. So what I understand from this discussion is that anybody who has got experience either as a manual tester, an automation tester, or in any other streams, so if they get to know about this RPA, either as a developer or a tester, so you will be giving them a hands-on experience on the project level during the phase of the course. And after that, you will be giving them an opportunity to attend interviews by giving 2 years of experience, then kick off the work part through RPA. Is that my understanding? I mean, is that what you'll be doing as a part of this course?
Okay, so Murli, when we learn, when we go for training, we have a training on practical scenario based. Okay, this is one. Second thing, once you've done the training, there will be 3 POCs, proof of concept, where you need to develop as an individual of post training. Those 3 POC you can have or you can add in your CV. That is not an issue at all. But yes, there will not be an experience, something which we provide. Okay, you gotten this much experience or something. But definitely, I'm very confident.
No, we are not expecting you to certify the experience. Anyways, we have a resume and experience in the companies, right? We will add up in our profile of the POCs that you give us. But in terms of attending interviews, like the other person who was having an experience as a manager, right? So she was also having the same concern. So when we try to approach companies with this 2 years of an experience, as you told, with the POCs that we have gone through, would that be adequate enough with these experience to fetch jobs over there? Is what I'm trying to understand, because they might have some lot of business cases, right? So will those business cases will satisfy with the POCs that we go through with you? I mean, I don't know. I just want to understand on the high level.
Okay. So showing the experience or having the training and the POC, you can show or you can have the 6 month, at least minimum 6 months of experience in your CV. Now, how to provide or how to give those details to the interviewer, that is your skill, one. Second, the training which we conduct or which we provide so we are confident that you will get minimum 6 months of real-time experience to the maximum 1 year, depending upon how you perform in the training, how you provide, how you do the use cases which we provide as a homework. Now, when it comes for post training and creating a resume, we do provide assistant to create your CV, to provide you the interview questions, but it totally depends on your confidence that how much the experience, if you want to show, how much that would be, and how you need to present in front of interviewer.
Okay, yeah, I got your point. All right.
Yeah.
Hello, this is Piyush.
Yep. Hi, Piyush.
So actually, I'm right now I'm working into embedded hardware design. Okay, so I'm looking for a switch. So how does it help me?
So as I told you, background, whatever you have the background previously, that does not stops you to learn. Definitely somehow, if you have a software related, that would added advantage. But if you have a hardware, still you can go in the infrastructure level of RPA, which is quite good, because RPA team is not related only for a development. Even I need a server where RPA can understand. I can RPA server can do something related with the hardware. So that is also a good opportunity. So I think that is whatever is your last or previous experience, it get counted, but it not impact or it not have any your current role which you want. So it totally depends on you whether you want to become a RPA developer or RPA tester or RPA infrastructure. If you have the hardware knowledge like this, you can do that.
Okay, great, thank you.
And a few things, guys. If you can see my screen, I mean, although these are some old feedbacks, but here you can see like people who have done training with us in RPA. Shiv is a knowledgeable. He's kind of explained. I learned RPA Blue Prism easily. Then again, Blue Prism training. The feedback is 7/7. Then here again about Shiv. Nice. Then there is a Bilal who has done. There is a Karsh who has done training with us. Then there is Rahul, I guess. Okay, he has not done. Ripsita Ray, she has done RPA training, right? So the thing is, in our Refer Me Group training session, it is not only to conduct the workshop; it is also that we make sure that at least you get a confidence once the workshop is over. Like few minutes before, someone has asked that how these POCs will help me and how I will convert my project. So end of the workshop, you will aware about all the tools, a complete knowledge, and you can convert your existing project. Guys, to be very honest, or frankly speaking, people who are smart enough, they just update their resume according to JD, right? And that we do. We know this is the honestly we should accept, and we update our resume according to the JD. And here we do the same thing, right? But there is some skill that we will discuss during our workshop, how to update the resume and apply for RPA jobs, right? So any more question, Rohit, Akshay?
Hi. Yeah. How long? Ramakrishna here.
Yeah.
How long workshop duration will be?
Okay, so let me tell you. Shiv, what will be the duration for a Blue Prism and a UiPath?
So it's 24 hours for this session, yeah, for each tool.
Okay.
It means It means 24 hours for the blueprint and 24 hours the UI path.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And guys, fees, if you will compare, so in the market, if you will go, you will find no one is teaching you less than 10,000 rupees per RPA. Here we have kept the fees as 6,500 rupees, right? Either you are learning for a blueprint or you are learning for UiPath. Any of the tool you can pick and you can learn.
Okay, and one more, any prerequisite should be needed, like nothing will be. Suppose if you learn something, prerequisite should be, you have to learn. Suppose you learning and Selenium, should you at least you should know core Java or something like a VB.NET something like that. In Blue Prism or UiPath, some like any prerequisite course is needed or nothing. Just you can without any.
So Shiv, you
basic
can help.
knowledge.
Yes. So basically, as I told you, Ivan, prerequisite is not required any coding knowledge. However, when we start the UiPath, we start with the basic of .NET, which is required, not to have it compulsory, but as a part of the additional or added advantage. And for Blue Prism, we don't need any prerequisites. If you are a RPA developer and if you know the Blue Prism, it means you have the knowledge on the Blue Prism. So that is not required at all, any coding knowledge or any prerequisites.
And how about the certification? Are we supposed to take an exam after this?
Yes, certification is not free of cost for any of the tool except your Automation Anywhere. So certification has a cost. Certification, there are levels of certification. Blue Prism has a level 1, 2, 3. So level 1 start from the $70 charges. That is a one time. For UiPath, earlier it was free of cost. Now it is paid. So $1.50 is a charge for UiPath certification. And definitely level 1 you can easily crack when you go for a training. Level 2 and level 3 that needs your hands-on practical experience to crack it and has the same fee. So you can go with the certification post training.
So level 1 is your RPA developer, right?
Level 1 is common. I mean, level 1 is something, if I say Blue Prism, that is the developer accreditation. The name of the certification is developer accreditation, which means that anyone who wants to become RPA Blue Prism developer, Blue Prism tester, they have to have in the sense 80 is common for all the role. There will be level 2, level 3.
I think this is like a S2 certification. Like first we have the foundation, then we have levels, and that expert and advanced.
Yeah, you can say that. Yes, UiPath is also has the same developer, beginner, and then the professional developer like this.
Is it going to be a weekend batch or the weekdays? The classes we would be having.
Generally, we prefer weekend because weekdays are quite impossible. Even I'm working, even you guys are working. So,
and also, guys, you need time to do a revision as well and do a practice as well, right?
So if it's a weekend, so how many hours for a weekend? Say Saturday, Sunday, then 2 hours on Saturday and 2 hours on Sunday, or how many hours?
Shiv, can you complete on this, please?
So we are planning Saturday, Sunday for 3 hours. Initially for 2 hours, and then it will be the 3 hours. So 6 hours, 3 hours Saturday, 3 hours Sunday.
Okay.
So 6 hours in a week, and it would be the 4 weeks. And then you will get a POC which you need to do within that 2 weeks.
Okay, but the timing, Shiv, for Saturday, Sunday, timing morning hours or evening hours?
It's a morning only.
Okay.
Morning, what time, Shiv?
Morning, we can start even at 8 o'clock early. So we can start 8 to 10, 8 to 11, or maybe 7 to 10. So depending upon the availability of person.
Can we have a little late on because weekends early morning
So
is,
yeah, so
I
this is
think.
something. This is something a tentative, as I told you. We need to first get the people onboarded, then we can create a group, and accordingly we will, uh, plan that. So if everyone is feasible, then only we'll start that particular time.
Hey Shiv, this is Bharat. Yeah, I have a concern. In case I join the session on weekends, I currently am part of another training session which happens on the weekend between 10 to 12. So there will be a clash. So will that be taken care?
So yes, Bharat. Shiv, let me come on this. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. So Bharat, every session first we share the recorded videos, right? Whatever the training has been done, so we share the recorded video. One. Second, the aim is not to only conduct the class, but aim is everyone should be present in the class. In case if there is something people is not able to present the class, so sometimes we change the class timing as well. But it depends on majority of the people, right? And third is if anyone have some other priorities, so people can share in advance, right? And they can skip the class, although they will get the videos, and in upcoming class they can clear their doubts.
But I wouldn't be able to do because I'm part of the another session, that is the automation, which is conducted by Pradeep.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that is my problem.
So how's that session is going on, Pradeep?
That is going good. 10 to 12, it's going over the weekend.
So that is really very, I mean, we have got a very good response in that automation.
Yeah, so if I have to join this also now, how do I manage? We can talk offline, take it offline, but will that be taken care of? That is what I want to check.
Yeah, sure. We can connect offline.
Okay.
So definitely your class will not clash with Pradeep's class.
Okay.
So guys, any more question? Sachin, Rohit, Akshay, Anshul, Bharat, Murli, Piyush, Rashmi, Rishi, Sai, Sasuti, Subhadas.
When we are expecting to start from next weekend? Or,
Yes. From next week means from 15th we are going to start.
Okay. Good. Okay.
And whether we will learn UiPath or Blue Prism, that we can tell you, or how is it?
Yes, you have to tell me which tool you want to learn, and we will create two different groups for people who are for a Blue Prism, who are for the UiPath.
Okay, and this course you are going to teach the one tool completely, and that will help us clear the certification, and you are giving us one POC.
Number of POC Shiv can help. Shiv, how many POCs we are covering? Shiv, are you there?
Yes, sorry, I missed. What was?
Question is how many POCs we are going to cover?
POC. Okay, there would be 3 POCs.
So that is after the training is over, we have to do it?
Yes. So one POC we will create while doing the training, end to end. You will get to it, and rest of the 2 POC you have to create your own, where we will provide you all the details like PDD, SDD, process design document, and everything. And then you have to submit those 2 POC to us. We'll validate, and if there is any concern or questions, that we will get sorted out.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm just confused. Aren't we going to cover both the tools, UI Prism and UiPath and Blue Prism, or just the one out of these 2?
We cover.
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
As we start with both the tool, that it is your your availability if you want to learn both the tool at the same time, or maybe one after another, whatever. So we start the training on both the tool.
No, so
Oh,
say for example, I go with UiPath, I learn it and I finish your whatever 6 weeks of weekend classes, and then I will again start Blue Prism.
No, I guess both the batches will go in parallel.
Both batches will go in parallel.
Yeah.
So obviously, any one we can learn, right?
Yeah. In future, if there will be people who want to switch to another tool, so in future we can start. But I will also not recommend that you learn both the tools in simultaneously, right? Otherwise,
Yeah.
how you will do a practice? It isn't
Correct.
right.
Yeah.
Our
So,
intention is not to just take money from you, but intention is that to give some learning to you guys, right?
and for each session, you are going to give us some assignments to do also,
Yes,
right?
yes, absolutely. Reading material and assignment, everything.
Okay.
Actually, just from my understanding, you said Blue Prism and UiPath both in parallel. Means, do you mean that on Saturday you take Blue Prism and Sunday you take UiPath, or how it is?
Sorry.
No,
No. Yeah, you said both the tools, the training will be in parallel. The training will go in parallel, right?
I seriously not able to understand your question, Sachin.
So Nitesh, I'll take it up. So basically, yeah. So the two training, there would be two different timings for Blue Prism. Let's say if it is 8 to 10, so UiPath would be the 10:30 to 12:30 or maybe that time. So both Saturday, Sunday, there would be two different batches.
Okay.
It means if someone wants to learn both the tools, he can learn.
Yeah, of course, but yeah, that is something we not recommend because you need to then focus on the board to tool. You need to do that practice. It totally depends on. If you are interested, then we don't stop. But that is you need to understand.
Suppose if I choose UiPath, so and I'm just hoping to concentrate on UiPath for those complete 6 months. Can I get the these videos or recordings for the Blue Prism after 6 months, so that if I want to learn, I can learn it by those videos?
You will get every weekend, by the way.
Every video recording for both the tools.
Yes.
Okay.
So how much depth we will cover in both the tools? Like in
So
Blue?
course content, I guess I will share with you guys.
Okay. So you already shared, or you need to?
No,
share?
I will share. No worries.
Okay.
Hey Shiv, this is Bharat again. Sorry, I probably have missed out. How do I, evaluate both tools based on the market value? Say, which will help me decide which tool to take up, or if there's any difference or not.
Yes, Eva, I talked about this. So basically, choosing the tool, it depends on your strength. As I told you, if you have the basic knowledge of .NET, then go with the UiPath. If you don't, then also you can go with the UiPath. That is not an issue. So both are equally weighted in the market. Both have the opportunities. Some has Blue Prism, some has UiPath. But if you don't know anything about the RPA, if you don't know anything about the tool, it is always to learn the Blue Prism or UiPath. Again, I'm saying don't go with the automation anywhere. But again, when it comes for choosing from Blue Prism and UiPath, if you have the basic .NET and if you want to learn the basic of .NET, if you are keen to work with the .NET, then go with the UiPath. If you don't want, then go with the Blue Prism.
So I'm coming from Java background. So Java with currently working as an automation tester. So I think .NET it's similar to Java, right?
Yes, it's similar, right? There is only terminologies are different and concept and everything is same. So, of course, you can go with the UiPath.
One thing, can I decide after having attending the session for both the tools, and then I can decide, okay, which ultimately I want to join.
So initially, Anshul, first one class will remain same for Blue Prism or UiPath. Later on, after one session, we will switch to the people into a different workshops, right? For a Blue Prism and UiPath. So initially, one class will remain same. Then we will segregate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At the time of segregation, so can I have a session for both? And then see, I have a basic knowledge of Java, but I'm not that much into this coding part. So I'm not sure. I'm just gonna give myself a try that if I can learn the basics of the .NET also. If I can do that, for that I need to attend the UiPath session. If I don't find it that much interesting or not that much captivating for me, I'll choose Blue Prism. So to decide that, I need to have the session on both. Just the first session of the segregation I will attend.
Yeah. So first session will remain same.
The first session is same. After that, you will be segregating the Blue Prism and the this UiPath classes. So after first session is done and we are on the way to the segregation, I want to attend that part of that session of those all the tools. Get it? See, we have been through the first session, very first session, which is common for UiPath and the Blue Prism. Now the second session comes up where we would be deciding whether we want the Blue Prism or we want the UiPath. So with the second session, I'm still not clear whether I want the Blue Prism or UiPath. So to be 100% clear, can I join both the sessions on this the second session also of both the tools?
So that we can discuss if you are coming on board. So that we can discuss. Not a big deal.
Okay, that would be only just to decide which for which I'm more interested in. So I think by attending the session for both the tools, I can be able to decide.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
No problem. That's not a big deal. Okay, so guys, I guess we have done with our side, right? And Shiv, anything to more?
I have one more query. Yeah. So what kind of .NET knowledge is required? Is it required loops and all, or something else?
Yeah, only the loops, for each loop, if else condition, data types, data item, variables, all these things.
Okay. It means only loops are required that we use in the UiPath.
Yes.
Not that much exception handling, file handling, not all those things, or do we need that also?
Exception handling is a concept is there, but you don't need to have the .NET concept. There is a created tools, or you can say toolbar by UiPath and also Blue Prism. So you don't need to have that knowledge. There is a different one. So let me put it in this way. There is exception handling, but not through the in the coding or something. It's totally on tool level.
Okay, guys. So just let's a quick survey, and I request you and I respect you. Even if you are not interested to join the workshop, you can simply deny. No issues. But please learn from anywhere. RPA, believe me, is going to be a very expanding in upcoming future. Now Microsoft also jumped into RPA, so you can think that what a big market is going to be in RPA. So just tell me honestly, if you are joining or not joining. I am happy with yeah, sure.
Sorry to interrupt. If you all over, so can I drop off? I have another thing.
Just give me 2 minutes, Moshi, because I have also another session at 8 o'clock. So just you guys just share your thought if you are continuing with the workshop or not. So let's start. Rohit, you want to continue?
Yeah.
Okay. Sachin, can you hear? Okay. Who is by the name of 43B2B4BF? Sachin, I cannot hear. You can type. And Rohit, which tool you are deciding?
I need to decide that. Actually, I'm not sure.
Okay, no problem. Akshay?
Yeah, not as of now, but I will surely let you know.
No problem. No problem. No problem, Akshay. Thank you. Anshul?
Yeah, I am deciding to have this workshop, but not sure which tool to choose now.
Okay.
Maybe after the second session, I'll decide.
Sure, no problem. Bharat?
Yes, I'm even I have the same issue as Anshul, like which tool and the timing is an issue. But
No
yeah.
worries, no worries. We will discuss. Murli? Murli, can you hear? Okay. Who is Oppo A57?
Ramakrishna here.
Yeah, Ram.
I need to choose which one I'm interested, but based on the one more session, I will choose like which one.
Okay, so should I consider you for the workshop?
Yeah, you can include.
Okay, okay. It's a fine, Ram. I mean, if you're not comfortable, there is no compulsion that no. What should I say? What people will think? No worries. Even if you're not comfortable, you can say no. I don't have any concern. Why I am doing this, because I seriously do not want to do a chase and call to the people what you had decided, something like that, right? Piyush?
Yes, I mean, but I haven't decided yet what to choose.
Sure, no problem. Thank you, Shiv. Thank you, Piyush. Rashmi?
Yes, I'm interested, but not sure about the tool.
Okay, no problem. We will discuss on this. Rishi?
No, not now.
No problem. Thank you, Rishi. Sai?
Yes, we have. I want to go with the
Okay. And who is left here? Saraswati?
I need some more time to think about it. I'm convinced a little bit, but I'm still thinking like. So I'll just let you know later.
Sure, no problem, no problem. Subhada? Subhada, can you hear me? Okay. Essence Shetty?
Time to decide.
Sorry?
I will need some time to decide.
No problem, no problem. Yeah. And Sunita?
Yeah.
So, are you in, or you need some time to decide, or you are not in?
No, I'm interested, but which tool I'm not decided.
Okay, okay, no problem, no problem. So there is a one, again I am repeating, there is a 43B2B 4BF. I am not sure what is your name, right? Sachin, you can type, I can read on your behalf whether you are in or not in, right? So guys, thank you so much, and believe me, in Refer Me group, Bharat can share his experience because he is with the automation workshop. In Refer Me group, we not only conduct the workshop, we are like a family, right? So we have that kind of a bond usually. People here share their experience, share their knowledge, share their openings, and we are connected with each other emotionally, plus we are connected with each other like a Refer Me group family. Bharat, please correct me if I'm wrong anywhere, any point, right? And this is a request, like I said in each workshop, end of the demo, please upgrade yourself. Not necessarily you are going to join Refer Me group or anywhere, but choose the platform wisely. Nowadays, it is not optional, it is mandatory to upgrade yourself because of the new technology and everything. Like initial of the session, I have said we are confused at what to do, right? So RPA is one of the leading technology, and believe me, up to the next 2 or 3 years, this will give a lot of job to the people, right? And very easy to learn, very easy to switch. So thanks a lot, guys, and have a wonderful evening. Enjoy with your family. Take care. Sudeshna, I'm sorry I couldn't ask from you.
Yeah, I will be doing it, but I will let you know the tool and all.
Okay, no problem. So thank you so much, guys. Stay with your family, stay safe, stay healthy, take care. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful evening.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Shiv. Thank you. And please share your feedback in the same WhatsApp group. A small request, at least for 30 seconds, you can.
Okay, Shiv, I just said that I will be doing it. I think you didn't hear me.
No, which one? I have noted down stage now for you.
Okay, you don't know. That's why I asked.
No, I have noted yet.
Okay, fine.
So please share your feedback. Just I request 30 seconds of yours, because people who have not joined, I will share the video and they can watch the video. Right. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care. Bye-bye. Good night.
Thanks, Shiv.
Thank you.